Hey everybody, can y'all hear me good? All right, sorry, I had a little bit of trouble first time, so I was first time going live. I had a little bit of just trying to get the image, the video over here in the corner for me, but I was having trouble with my green screen. Okay, good. All right, so let's see what's going on. For all of you that don't know and you're just jumping in here, this is the Apex system that I use. I use the Apex tools. So I trade LRE setups, and that's basically a pullback of a simplicity trade. And the way I'm kind of thinking of setting it up, and I guess y'all let me know if this works out good, because I look at the 10 tick a lot, so that's kind of what I have showing here. And then in the bottom right, or bottom left for y'all, I have the simplicity, and it's not zoomed in much because I mean, all you really need to see is that it's trending up or down and pulls back. So that was kind of my thinking on that. Morning, Jeremy. Morning, Peter. Morning, everybody. Chris. I need to put the chat in a better spot so I don't have to turn. Let's see. Good. I was hoping that it would come out clear. I was having so much trouble with that last night trying to make sure it looks good. I'm not sure how it's going to look if anybody's watching on their phone, but looks like we have news at 8:30, but it's Canadian. Well, there's some. Yeah, we have some. It might move the market because we have CAD high CPI, and there's been a lot of talks lately about their CPI and all that. So I don't know. I'll treat it like a mini dark zone when it gets there, just in case if the market moves. Market's barely moving. Hey, David. Morning. Yeah, Chris, that's what I mean. I'm. It's a lot of news, even though it's Canadian. I think it will probably move the market, especially since the market's not really moving right now. I think it's waiting for that news. And also, so I do have. So y'all know I trade LREs. I do have an evaluation account that I will trade simplicity with, just that one account. So if y'all see me jump into a simplicity trade, that's why. It's not any of my live accounts or PAs or anything. That's just one evaluation I've been kind of working on simplicity with. It's kind of secondary though. And what I was going to do too is just kind of pull over the 30 tick chart if I need to point anything out like that, which I'm not really seeing much on the 30 tick chart. The 50 tick chart has a little 1, 2, 3 bar chop. Yeah, so we'll just wait a little bit and see what happens here with this news. Hey, Luis. Bon dia. So if any of you that are trading with the Apex tools, um, you know, definitely don't use what or follow me because the stream is usually a little bit behind. So yeah, I'm in the corner, Chris. I don't want to take up much chart space, but and by the way, I just got to say for disclosure purposes that this is not financial advice. You can lose by trading futures. Let's see. Aha, here we go. See, it looks like we have a couple minutes here before that news. Yeah, the market's not doing anything. I'm sure it's going to pop with this news. I just have to remember that y'all can see me. Hey, good morning, Alton. Let's see, we are at the -2.5 dev. So depending on what this news does, let's see. See if there's anything. I don't see much really. So let me pull over the 30 tick here. You do have down here right above the -0.5 dev, you kind of have this little stack going on. That might be a nice little target for the market to move to. So I kind of look ahead like that to see if there's any direction. Up here at 11,200, you have the ice, blue ice, and a ZOI on it. So, that's really all I'm seeing right now. Brian, yeah, I know. That's my nose itches. I got to be careful. So these thicker lines, the way I have it set is the OP copier is copying that paw from the 30 tick. And I kind of made all my OP from the 30 tick copy over in a thicker line so I don't confuse it. And, with a thicker line, it looks like it's a stronger level anyways, which it technically is since it's on the 30 tick. So that's why I do that. And then this orange dotted line, that's my dynamic magnet. And then if you see pink dotted lines, that's my flux levels. I just changed the flux level colors. Yeah. All right, so that didn't really do too much, but it might break short here. Yeah. Yeah, that's good. Lewis. Yeah, I always wanted to distinguish the differences between my 30 tick levels or OP versus the 10 tick. So we might. It looked like it wanted to go short there for a minute, but kind of got hung up. All right, now it's breaking short. Now, what I'm looking at too is as this breaks short, if you look at the 30 tick, we have a bottom over here to the left. So I want to make sure it breaks this bottom, like it goes below that, which looks like it will, because I don't want it to, well, but see, now it's going, yeah, it's going to break. So I like it to clear this bottom because a lot of times that's where you get the fake outs. If it comes down here, does kind of what it's doing now, and then, you know, leaves a mini magnet or something, or like this eye block, green eye block, and head back up, which, you know, might do that. So that's also why I like my LREs. Whenever I say I like it to run a little bit and then pull back, that's what I mean. You know, it could be the 30 tick I'm looking at, could be the 10 or even the 50 tick. If any of those are at the bottom like this, I like for it to kind of break and keep going. And then right below, as you see, we're at the 11,000 level, and there's a ZOI there. So I might want it to just keep going below that before I look for an entry. Hey, Shelly, good morning. See, and it's, oh, look, we just had a Lorex long right there. All the way back up. And see, it didn't quite break that bottom enough for me. If it comes all the way back up, an LRE would be right up here above this wall, which if it breaks this red ice and wall, I'm likely to think that it might just continue back up to the top of this little range we have going on here. Because when it broke below, it wasn't very convincing for me. Although, yeah, I wouldn't. We have an ODD here, but then we have 3 clusters. So if I go short here, because it's almost like right there's an LRE. But see, if I would have went short, which I'm glad I didn't, but you see, because Simplicity wasn't really running that well. And if I would have went short up here where the LRE is, I mean, it would have had to go back through these 3 clusters, really technically through the wall. There's too much for it to go through, to come back through. So, and see, it's really not a pretty Simplicity. It didn't run, you know, it was technically a Simplicity, and it barely broke the bottom. Even on the Simplicity chart, you can see looking left, it barely broke the bottom. Nice. Yeah, it just wasn't very convincing of a break short for me. Now we might get a Simplicity long. Maybe. So I'm kind of waiting. At this point, what I'm going to do is kind of wait for a clear run above probably. So on my Simplicity chart, you can see this upper area here where it kind of went sideways along this dynamic magnet. I don't know if y'all can see that really well. But this area where it went sideways, I kind of want it to break above that and then come pull back somewhere for an LRE. Yeah, I agree. It's too rangy right now, and it feels very indecisive. Like I feel like if I jumped into an LRE, it's just gonna go the other way and lose right now. Like I don't see the market just taking off anywhere. Which sometimes, that's part of being patient, right? So sometimes we have to sit there and just wait. And like I always say, I only need one to two trades really. I only take 3 max for the day, so just wait for the best looking ones. And sometimes I don't get them. I hope I get one. My first live. I want to take a trade, but I got to make sure and follow the rules. Be patient. Yeah, sometimes it gets like that where it's not like just a clear top and bottom, up and down range, but you can see like I guess that's sometimes when I call it a zone, just like a big zone, big area. And I noticed sometimes, Chris, that you will highlight that area, and I've seen a few other people do that too. And that's a good thing to do. I plan on doing it as much as I can. I pretty much want to do it every day. Um, I don't see why I can't. So I'm planning on doing it every day. And I hope, I haven't taken a trade yet, so I'm hoping, I have a pretty good computer, so I'm hoping that there's no lag or something like blow up when I enter a trade. Should be fine though. I was up pretty late last night trying to tweak all these settings for this stream to make sure that everything was going to run good. Yeah, I think so too, Chris. I think it'll be fine. You see down here now too, this green dotted line, that's an I block on the 30 tick. So that's what I mean. That's whenever I was showing that 30 tick. So, man, these order prints are just so amazing. When you really get to reading them. Like I was mentioning here on the breakdown, I wanted it to go break below this, but it barely broke, left this little I block, green I block. So, and an X box. So it's kind of like down here is a weak area as it tries to get to 11,100. So it might take a couple tries when it gets down there to actually break through. But we'll see. And if it does break through, again, this is an area I'm looking at right here. Around this 11,077 area. If it breaks that, it might not break right through it, but it'll probably reach the dev down here eventually. But this area is a nice little, it's got 2 paws, mini magnet, and a ZOI. So pretty sure it's going to get drawn down to there. Thanks, Lewis. Same to you. Now we have on the third bar of chop for the 50 tick chart. I don't really pay much attention to that until, it gets like 4 or 5 bars of chop. Then I'm like, okay, I really need this to do something. Yeah, so whenever I was trying to organize the charts, the display, I really wanted my 30 ticks. I hate having to drag it over all the time, but because it keeps the aspect ratio, that I don't know. I just felt like it would look weird if there's just a small blank spot because you can't adjust exactly perfect, if that makes sense. So there was like, I don't know. It was just kind of like a dead spot that I couldn't get filled. I'll just have to probably mess with it again a little more. See, this is where I've mentioned this before, where people get killed with simplicity, where it gives these fake breakouts, fake entries. Like back here, we had a short and it didn't go very far. Then it turned into a long right into the dev up here. Didn't go anywhere. Came back down. It looked like it was going to go short again. Now it's looking like it's going to go long. That's where you just got to sit out on simplicity for sure. And that's where you could have gotten easily 2-3 losses in a row. Yeah, it's hard. I mean, sometimes they just run and sometimes they don't. Yeah. Yeah, I agree, Chris. I mean, it would be nice to have an automatic LRE, but it's just there is a lot of thought that goes into it, and picking the right ones and all that. Because I don't know. I think the only way you could make it automatic is basically just if this happens, basically like if it hits this line, then enter the trade. But it's not. I don't think there's a way it can read everything else. I don't know. I could be wrong, but I don't know. I feel like I like feeling like I have more control. Nice. Some huge simp runners. Yeah, that's always nice when that happens. And that's the thing. Sometimes, you have those days where simplicity just runs and you just killing it. And then days like today where it's messy and then you just getting killed. That's where having money management comes into play. It's like, regardless, whatever happens, this is when I stop. Have to do it with simplicity too, have a stop limit for sure. And sometimes it can happen fast. Your first couple trades, bam, bam, lost. And it's like 5 minutes. Like, oh crap, I can't be done already. You just have to stop. That's the hard thing. I think that's the hardest thing too. It's like, okay, if you sat there and were sitting there for an hour and took 2 losses within, one in the first 20 minutes, another one 20 minutes later, okay, you feel like you did something. But if you get in and you take 2 losses back to back, it's like in 5 minutes or whatever, hit your limit, then you're like, dang, that was too quick. But yeah, just got to stick with it. All right, here's another try at that bottom that I was talking about. Yeah, dang, I really need to figure out how to get these screens better where I can keep the 30 tick. Look at this. Right back down to the bottom, hit the green eye block and leaving a cluster on it, maybe. Well, not maybe. It has a cluster on it, but it might, shift a little bit where the cluster stays, but yeah, so it might not break this time and take another try. See, this cluster on top of this eye block right here tells me, all right, there's a big fight right in this area, this 11,105. Yeah, 11,105 to 11,110. Right in this area. So also, which is a good thing too, if it does break and run down, likely it'll come back up and test that area. And if it gives an LRE, that's nice. Because if it struggles at an area to break it, and if it can't break it, it's tries, finally breaks it, runs down, pulls back to it. Most of the time, that's going to be an LRE there. And a lot of times it'll win. And those are my favorite. Yeah, so if that happens, and like let's say for example, this bottom area that I wanted to break out that I was just talking about, if it gives me an entry above it, I'm not getting in. I won't get in until it breaks, and I'll wait. And as long as it's still in a simplicity move, as it breaks, then I'll get in right when it breaks. Yeah, I definitely wait for that break. See, now on the 50 tick chart, we are on the 5th bar of chop. So if this bar closes down, it'll be 11, 114.50. And then the next one would be down probably around close to the 11,000 mark. So I'd want this one to close down, another one to close down, and then for it to keep running. That's how I look at the 50 tick chart. Whenever it chops like that so much. And so, you know, I usually stay on till about, man, this market is not moving. I usually stay on till about 9:15 or so. That's kind of my trading session. Today, I apologize. I was running a little bit late. I usually like to start around 8 to 8:15 is usually when I get on until about 9:15. If the market's really good, running good, I'll go to about 9:20-ish, and then I end my session. And even whenever I do trade after the open, I usually only give myself about an hour and a half to trade. Just anything more for me, I usually it doesn't go too well. My thought process is if I haven't gotten my trades or hit my, you know, whatever loss limit or profit target or gotten anything within that time frame, then you know, it's something's just not good. The market's not good, or I'm missing trades or something. And, you know, just for me, it's better to come back, call it a day, come back the next day. So I always limit myself on time too. What's today? Wednesday. See what kind of news. See what's on the news for tomorrow. Here's a little bit of news, so maybe we'll get some movement tomorrow. All right, let's see if this wants to run up. Again, I probably would be looking to break around 1150. Break around 155 or so. A run above that is what I'd be looking for. All right, let's see if this thing will break long for us. It might go ahead and, I mean, let's see. Where's settlement? Settlements. Yeah, I mean, we have the blue ice 11,200 level and settlement all together. So if it breaks long, that's kind of where I would expect it to run to. Doesn't mean it'll, you know, go straight there, but that'd be kind of my expectation. Oh, they're just part of the template. Yeah, he's talking about these little apex balls there. I mean, they're another way of looking at the, yeah, it's a way of seeing HD still, but yeah, I mean, they're not really used for setups or anything, just a little bit of another confirmation, but it's not really, and it's part of the template, so I just never, they're just there. Hey, John, how's it going? Yeah, I didn't do a great job, just by the way, of getting the links out there in time and all that. I was just running behind and trying to make sure I had everything right since this was my first time going live. But it'll definitely be smoother and earlier tomorrow. Yeah, see, and it's, man, this thing is staying in this zone. But see, when you identify these zones and areas, it keeps you out of a lot of trades. You know, it keeps you from taking dumb trades, and I've done that plenty of times. So, like, whenever I see simplicity look the way it looks right now, it's just messy, ugly, not breaking out, not running, then I just stay out. I don't even look for LREs. That's kind of my process, I guess. First, I glance at simplicity. Is it trending? Does it look nice? Because we all know what a nice, pretty run looks like with simplicity. You know, does it look like that? Yes. Okay, now let me see what's going on my 10 tick, my 30 tick. Start looking for confirmations, areas for it to pull back to, that kind of thing. So that's kind of my process. And then, like, for right now, like I said, the simplicity looks ugly. I just try to identify where I need it to break out from, and that's about it. I do also keep, just for viewing purposes, my flux and dynamic magnets shown, because you can look at this view. You can see on a bigger level, you know, this area. Look where I was calling out earlier that I was struggling to break 11,110, and look how many times it over the last couple days. Yesterday it couldn't break it. Look how it was resistance, and now it's become support. It's pretty clear. So I like to look at that on a larger level too, and that's the 60-minute flux level chart. So I like to just kind of keep that in the back of my head also. What the heck is that? Got spammers in here too? Dang. How do I get rid of that? Oh my God. I swear it's like all day. It's like its own job just to keep spammers away from groups and posts. Book them. Thanks, Murray. Yeah, that's kind of my why I like to do this. Oh, boot. I thought you said that's funny. Boot them. Yeah, yeah. They need to get booted, not booked. uh, yeah, Murray. That's kind of my. I like to, because there's a lot of thinking that goes on, right, with trading. So I just kind of like to I just kind of like to explain what I'm thinking as I'm sitting here. So it's not, I'm not, because it's easy to get zoned out and not, just kind of wait for it to move and then say, oh, okay, now we got some movement here, now let's see what's going on. So I like to try to look ahead as much as possible. Chris, I guess I can't delete the comment. I don't know. I'll have to look into that. I never thought about that. Out of all the things that I was thinking about trying to make sure went right with this live stream, I didn't think about that kind of stuff. All right, 9 o'clock. Let's see if we get a little volume as 9 o'clock hits. Sometimes we get like a little push in volume. I like to also keep a market analyzer. I have some markets here. I look at the bid-ask spread. When this is real big, like over 1 for NQ, that means there's low liquidity and it's zipping around a lot if it's over 1. And if YM is over 4. I look at the daily high, daily low, volume, days until rollover. So volume, a lot of times I'll see when 9 o'clock hits, we'll get a big push in volume. Just something I keep my eye on also. You can open that in your tools. Actually, no. You got a new and then market analyzer. Yeah, Brian, I didn't think so either. It's like, dang, this is my first live. They're already jumping in here. They don't play around. Oh, that's nice. I didn't know that there's only subscribes. Might have to look into that. And that'll, I guess, help push up some subscriptions, some subscribes to the channel. Let's see. Let's see if I. Yeah, I feel like if I mess around with this too much, I'll end up kicking everybody off or something. Or doing something, mess something up. I'll just have to mess with that later. Put some kind of anti-spam. Well, yeah, so clusters, I do look at clusters too because, clusters tell you that there's kind of a fight going on. So if I see clusters at certain areas, then, at a major level or something, and then, for example, it goes long from there, then the buyers kind of won. So I do use clusters a lot to tell me which direction it may go, and also as a point of stopping. And also the market likes to test clusters a lot. So like if it lays a couple clusters and moves short, goes short, and then it starts pulling back, a lot of times it'll go back and pull back and test those clusters before it makes a bigger move. Like that's what on the 30 tick here, when this was pushing down and it came and laid this cluster on this I block, that told me, and it started moving up, that told me, okay, buyers are winning this area. I'm not looking to really go short from here. And then up here at this dev, we kind of got a little bit of chop, double clusters, and now it's moving down. So there's just a big fight in this whole area going on. Which, as much as I don't like to say it, looks like I might not get a trade today. So if anything, it's good to, a lot of reasons why not to take trades, basically, this video. And even the 50 tick is just chopping. Look at that. Just ugly. You're welcome, David. Yeah, that's just, my goal. I want to, not only just maybe, really another perspective on how to look at this, and kind of what I'm looking at, and also for myself, help keep me in check. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, I've only got about, there's no news. There was that Canadian news, but it didn't really move. I thought the market was slow and maybe expecting some movement with that news. Even though it was Canadian, sometimes with it being that high of an impact. Yeah, sometimes it'll move the market, but it didn't really move it. Good morning. Good morning. No, I really 99% of the time I'm on NQ. The times when NQ gets just stupid crazy, then I'll jump over to YM. I've done CL before, but it may have just been when I was trading CL. It had these huge spikes, and the way I trade, it would just nail my stops and then run where I thought it was going. And I tried it for like over a month. And like I said, it could have just been that time that I was trying it, but I'm most comfortable with NQ and then YM kind of as a backup. Yes, John, they are being recorded. So once the stream ends, the links will be there. I created a new playlist. Oh, here we go again. Great. Spam. I created a new playlist of messed me up. I created a new playlist called live streams, so they'll all go under there and on my YouTube channel. Wow. Yep. But hey, a flat day is better than a negative day. That's for sure. Learned that a lot. It took me a long time. Brian. Yeah, subliminal messages. See how many of y'all click it. Just kidding. No, I never trade ES. I have a love-hate relationship with ES. I did before. Actually, when I was trading the sniper setups, after the market opened, ES was pretty good. You know, I'm not gonna lie about that, but a lot of times it's just too slow for me. Exposed. I'm exposed, Chris. Yeah. Oh, that's what I was talking about before I got bombarded with this spam. Is is yeah, it man, forever, for a long time. My discipline, as I don't know if I usually talk about it a lot. My discipline was so bad for a long time, um that I mean I just had to take a trade. For me, not taking a trade was in a day was just, I couldn't not take a trade. I had to take a trade. And that was bad. That was bad. Chris, it's just the lighting. I need to get my lighting up. And now that we're okay, like I said earlier, I'm usually trading until about 9:15, maybe 9:20 if the market's real good. Right now it's 9:08 and it's not looking good. So to be honest, I'm probably done for the day, because even if it starts running or moving now, let's say in the next 5 minutes something comes up and I take it, it might not be a great trade. If it is good, then it's just so close to my time to end that if I lose, then I could have, sometimes I'll say, well, I should just not taken a trade that day. My session was almost over, that I should have stopped, and kind of mess you up psychologically. So yep, it's right back at that level again. Here's the third hit. It may break now. Let me bring the let's see what's going on the 30. But look, it's trying to set another cluster the exact same level, laying another, maybe a mini magnet here at the bottom. If it doesn't break and this holds, I don't know when it's going to break. It might not. It might run up to settlement after the open. These are Apex diagnostic bars. They're similar to Renko, but they're not. There's zero time attached or anything. It's just I look at 30 tick bars. I have 10 tick bars. So they're, hey, thanks for this subscribe, stock trader. So yeah, it's just, it's the Apex diagnostic bars. They're proprietary to Apex. So similar, but different. They're basically like order flow and footprints within the bars, and they leave what we call order prints behind to let us know what happened. Yeah, so you can go and try. So Apex does an awesome, they're so confident in the system. They give you 30 days. They unload everything so you can try it. They have a free boot camp for 30 days. And you could try it out. No credit card needed, which is nice. And that's how I got started with it. I was like, well, I have nothing to lose. And then I just fell in love with it. So as you can see, that dynamic mini magnet held and that cluster. So like I said, if this doesn't break and that holds, I bet this runs all the way back up. And if it continues up close to the open, I would not be surprised if this ran all the way up to settlement, 11,200 area. But again, it needs to break this 11,155 first. So I saw the 30-day boot camp. Yeah, the second month is $1. Let me see. It shouldn't ask for a credit card unless they change that. Yeah, it shouldn't ask for a credit card. Jeffrey, I don't, because I trade only the LREs. I love the Lorex. That's probably the highest probability sniper trade that there is. But I do use it. You know, for example, if I'm taking an LRE and a Lorex sets up in the same direction as my LRE needs to go, that's a no-brainer. I love it. I'll take it. Now, if there's an LRE against my, or a Lorex against my LRE, then I'll skip the LRE. Unless if the Lorex already set up and has ran for maybe 4 bars or more, then I'll take it against it. Yeah, this is from the Apex Bootcamp. What you're seeing here, these charts. And do I need to take the bootcamp? Yeah, so you'll need to sign up for the bootcamp, and you can actually use all these charts while in bootcamp. And there's tons of videos. They actually have in order, you know, step 1, 2, 3, 4 of, you know, training on exactly how to use all these. Yeah, it's been close to 3 years that I've been using it. Well, March of 2020, so however long that's been. And it's been amazing. My problem that took me a while was my discipline, like a lot of people. Discipline, doing stupid stuff, and not following the rules. Other than that, man, the system is great. I love it. Nice, Chris. Yeah, I'm about to shut down too. It's pretty much the end of my trading session. Didn't get anything, but you know, hopefully one of y'all could have picked something up from what I was talking about. So if you want to check out, yeah, discipline. It is. I agree. I believe that's 99% of it. At least 90 for sure. But yeah, Green Day. So Futures Sniper Beast is my website. It's futuresniperbeast.com. If you go to futuresniperbeast.com/Apex Investing Institute, it'll put you onto the page to check out the Apex system. And futuresniperbeast.com, I have always, if you use the trader funding, the most recent discount is always going to be listed on there on that front page. That's still a work in progress, though, that whole website. Hey, you're welcome, Alton. Yeah, so how much does it cost for became stranger after 3 months? So afterwards, it's $200 a month, but completely worth it. By the time, and that's the beauty of the bootcamp. By the time you're done and gone through it, you should be able to. You'll know like if it's for you or not. If it's worth the cost of, you know, $200 a month from there. And, you know, some people might not want to go forward, and then you risk nothing but a little bit of time. And some people like myself and a lot of others just go ahead and go forward and start becoming. I actually wasn't profitable until I started using the Apex system a couple years ago. Like, as in any other systems I tried, I just was horrible at them. Hey, thanks for the subscribe. All right, I'm going to go ahead and shut it down, call it a day. It's 9:16. Nothing. In about 10 minutes, we usually call it a dark zone where we don't trade the 5 minutes before or after the open. Nothing's going to happen for me from now until then. So, check out some other videos. I try to put some of my trade reviews on my channel. Because I know the psychological aspect and discipline part is so crucial to trading, I try to focus a lot on that. And that's this part I struggled with. And I feel like I've overcome that for the most part. I'm still a human. Every now and then I do stupid stuff, but that's what I try to focus on. If you're not, used to my channel, I try to focus on that mostly. LRE is a pullback. So this chart that you see on the bottom left with the red and green lines, it basically will show when the market trends. It'll trend either long or short, right? And when it trends, it'll pull back to one of those to one of the lines, and that's basically it. The LRE stands for low risk entry. So as when it pulls back, makes that pullback, we hop in. We have only, I've been working with a 15 tick stop, and I shoot for 25 ticks of a target. It's a little scalp, but when you start adding contracts on it, I average about 70 to 75% win rate, and I trade multiple contracts and multiple accounts, and I mean, it could just add up. So I don't need huge long runs. And basically all an LRE is just a pullback of a trend. But we have a lot, because we use these order prints that you see here on this main screen. We have so many things telling us that when it pulls back that, okay, it's going to actually stop here because of this. It's going to stop here and actually continue in our direction, because this is based on actual order flow. So what's actually happening in the market versus, an indicator that is based on past history. If that makes sense. And check out my money management videos. Those are what I go by. That's what really changed all my trading for me. I don't, because on the your question, Cade, with the 10 Apex accounts and trade copier, I don't, because I recently built my computer and I have a pretty high benchmark, and I have 96 gigabytes of RAM and about a 45,000 benchmark. So I'm pretty good on that. I don't have any more issues. When I was using my laptop, and it wasn't a great system. I could only load like one day and have a couple accounts, maybe 3 or 4. And then after that, I would have problems. But that was because of my PC. All right, I'm going to go ahead and end the stream. No trades for me today, but I will be back tomorrow. I hope this was helpful in some way. I do plan on doing this pretty much every day. If I don't do it for whatever reason that day, I'll let y'all know beforehand. So I hope y'all have a great day, and the open's coming soon. So everybody take care and trade well. See y'all later.